What is GrowHub?
Well, GrowHub is a web network enabled SIP.
What is a SIP?
So here's an example of a SIP over here. So this is a a cheap Walmart SIP that's has a reservoir right here that you can fill up with water, and so the moisture kind of wicks it up. So this is an example of a SIP, and so what we're talking about with GrowHub is making this network enabled.
Network enabled, like you would have internet in your flower pot?
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be like a hotspot that I could connect to with my cell phone or tablet or laptop, or my GrowHub can connect to other GrowHubs too.
So you can have a network of GrowHubs.
Yeah, absolutely. A mesh network. Yeah.
A mesh network.
What's that? Menzantium or whatever that I showed you, that open source
Okay.
website, for sure.
Mention the gizmos for the moisture sensitivity.
Yes.
We already have up on GitHub under the GrowHub project, a really basic web sensor server that you can connect to. And basically, we can tie in all sorts of different sensors, but about the plant that's growing in a GrowHub.
What sorts of plants can you grow in a GrowHub?
Well, right now you can see, if we wanted to, what we're talking about is maybe attach a Raspberry Pi to right here.
Okay, what's a Raspberry Pi?
So a Raspberry Pi is a Linux complete computer. Basically, it's a motherboard, everything integrated into about the size of a deck of cards, maybe a little bigger.
Wow.
And it's all run. It's a Linux distribution, but it uses Python for most of its stuff. And since I love Python, it's a good fit for GrowHub, because our first code is actually Python code in the GitHub.
Outstanding.
What size are the pots? The standard pot.
Well, so what we're talking about initially is creating our first, like a 5-gallon. It's going to be our prototype. So I don't know.
How much do one of these Raspberry Pi Linux computers cost?
Well, it's like at $35, I think. So I think we're going to order one tonight and get it shipped out here. We're going to try to build this prototype as soon as possible.
What do you estimate the price point for a complete GrowHub to be?
For us, or for what we're going to try to raise money for? I think we need to have. So what we're really talking about are two things. The GrowHub is just part of our social network that ties together people with their GrowHubs, and so we have to kind of subsidize most of the social aspect that really provides what we're really trying to go for.
What kinds of stuff, what kind of activities, or what kind of information sharing can happen across this GrowHub social network among fellow gardeners?
Well, we're talking about like tying it down to particular holidays, perhaps. If I'm thinking about 4th of July, which is coming up this summer, maybe we have, you have a bunch of people that are coordinating but don't know it. So one people might be growing like corn in the GrowHub, another might be growing tomatoes, another might be growing lettuce and onions and everything, and it magically just comes together, like kind of coordinated through the social, networks, through their social GrowHubs. And so come 4th of July, they have all this, locally produced stuff.
Would it have like comparative charts? So let's say one lady uses this soil for her tomatoes, and one person uses this soil.
So what we're trying to do is we're going to allow people to create recipes for different types of plants, and they'll be able to share and collaborate on the recipes, and it'll all be tied to the GrowHubs. So we want to get people to interact with, get off your computer and start growing stuff.
Grow a plant, grow the
internet. Grow the plant, grow the internet. Yeah, awesome.